Yo everybody, what's going on? This is Keegan from Kman Reviews. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to hit that like and also hit the subscribe button. And if you have any opinions at all you would like to share, leave them down in the comment section. H.E.A.T II. H.E.A.T are a Swedish rock band formed in 2007 by Swedish Idol contestant Erik Gronwall. I'm completely new to this band, heading into it thanks to a viewer suggestion. I caught glimpses that this is going to be some melodic, yet still heavy rock, much like the One Desire album I covered a bit ago, inspired by bands like Whitesnake and Def Leppard. Seen a lot of positive reviews for this stuff as of late as well, so where do I stand on H.E.A.T II? Let's find out as I review this album, track by track. We'll start with the singles, with there being 3 of them. The first one being One by One, which opens up with this futuristic sweep, like traveling through time. And then the instrumental kicks in, which sounds very similar to some good old power metal, as if I should be leading an army to battle to this exact song. Erik's voice, not gonna lie, isn't quite what I expected. It's strong, it's definitely a powerful voice, but has this underlying reserved, kind of rough element to it, almost like a higher-pitched Jon Bon Jovi. The song structurally is pretty standard, but it works really well. That chorus is catchy, the riffs are completely air guitar worthy, and lyrics about trucking on through all the doubters. It's a damn good single. Check it out. The second single, the closer, Rise, may not be the most unique of a closer, but as a song this is very good. The melody is easily the best part of the track. It's so captivating, invigorating, yet again harnessing the power metal tropes, and with the pitch change on the final chorus, it comes together as this epic moment to close off the record. The blown synthesized keys plus a solid drum rhythm to boot and Erik's louder voice add the final touches to a wonderful track. Lyrically, it's just about being on the rise, being better than everyone else. Fantastic song, also worth checking out. And the third and final single, Dangerous Ground, opens up very fittingly with the sound of a car engine turning on, as this track just combusts beautifully. This whole instrumental gives me a lot of modern Judas Priest vibes, especially stuff off of Firepower, with loud, heavy guitars and thumping drums. But then the vocals kick in, which is a bit off at the start under this echo-distanced effect, but thankfully that goes away shortly for the rest of the track as Erik loses the louder yelling tone for the most part, resorting to his lower range. Lyrically, it's about not being afraid to tread on the dangerous ground. Guitar solo as well, and you've got a fantastic song, plus a fairly flawless singles run. Let's see how the rest of the album compares. Now for the rest of the tracks. The opener, Rock Your Body, does this album justice by being the opener, with this rather grand synth-infused intro sounding like some classic Who song, and then morphs into this complete groove with a very prominent bass line and melody. I really do enjoy Erik's voice here all the way throughout. He expresses both sides of his voice, hollering and just singing naturally, with that rougher timbre he has. Lyrically, as the title would suggest, it's about rocking this person's body. It's a sex song. Regardless, I enjoy it. Good song. Come Clean is a track that has one of the most infectious melodies on the entire record. It feels very nostalgic yet fresh at the same time. I get a lot of Journey or Europe feeling from this song, mainly on the verses. The chorus is pretty okay. Erik's vocals definitely soar very high, but I do just wish that the instrumental picked up a little bit to match that. It doesn't have the biggest punch that it could. Lyrically, it's about this relationship that fell apart and how they moved on to different lovers, but deep down he never actually stopped thinking about her. And the presence and emotional vocals really portray that feeling tenfold. Great song. Victory, as the title would suggest, is much more of a celebratory take on power metal, with Erik singing about these heroes forever fighting, in that tone that completely works for me. Again, harkening back to Judas Priest, he sounds very similar to Rob Halford. This instrumental is fairly typical, the guitar is satisfying to listen to, and the drums have a nice sporadic sections here and there to keep the track from getting a little bit stale. Guitar solo plus some more synthesizers? It's another damn good song. I recommend it. We Are Gods changes things up slightly sonically with a slower tempo track, plus a much grittier, rougher, distinct southern rock and metal sound. Erik's vocals are mostly the same, however over this track in my opinion is where he fits in the least. If he stuck with that lower tone instead of belting, this could have potentially been an album highlight, especially with the more memorable melody. Lyrically, the title really says it all, just how good they are comparing themselves to gods. The guitar solo is fantastic, kind of brings some life to the end of the track. Not bad. I like it. Adrenaline is probably one of the poppiest tracks on this record, and it's actually not that bad. Don't get me wrong, it's not a pop song at all, but there are pop elements here. The whoa-oh-oh vocals, and Eric's voice sounding very clean and polished, which isn't a bad thing in my opinion at all. The instrumental is nice, maybe a little bit generic for the most parts, although I do really love that breakdown that leads into the solo. It adds some nice tension and suspense, and lyrically it's about how this adrenaline he gets fuels him. Good song, I like it. Nothing to Say is the ballad of this album, which features these synth keys instead of the traditional piano. Eric has a fantastic voice for ballads like this, which really shows on the first chorus and its intimate nature with the soul acoustic guitar. The drums have a nice bop to it, and then it becomes this power ballad when the second chorus rolls around. It's a nice transformation. Lyrically, it's just simply about this relationship crumbling and leaving him with nothing to say. It's definitely a nice change-up and a good song to boot. Heaven Must Have Won an Angel is probably the only track off this album that doesn't really grip me in some aspect. The synth melody at the beginning definitely does, but after that, when the full instrumental exposes itself, it's a little bit mundane. Even Eric's vocals are kind of lackluster. There's no real strength to be had. The guitar solo as well is kind of generic, but if I can say something positive about it, I do enjoy the chorus. It has a very strong sing-along element to it, something to jam to, and lyrically about loss, how heaven won an angel in the end. But at its 4-minute, 41-second runtime, it doesn't stick. Least favorite here, pass. And finally, Under the Gun really comes out of the gate swinging with its aggressive, throbbing drum slaps, then morphs into a similar thing to the opening track, Rock Your Body, where it's very groovy, got a nice bass except it's slightly faster tempo. Definitely another track I get a bit of southern rock influence on. Eric's vocals are nice and all over the place, traveling all across his range. It's rather nice as he sings about living on the run, just being careful and cautious. Another one that's an album highlight for me. Good song. Overall, consider me very impressed. I thoroughly enjoyed this H.E.A.T album. Very solid fusion of the 80s hard glam rock that my family raised me on quite a bit, but with updated production, fairly clean vocals, and impressive, enjoyable guitar solos. Probably one of the best albums I've heard this year. I'm feeling a 9 out of 10. Really good stuff. Check this out. Well guys, hope you enjoyed that review. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.